So the ban announcement happened. I don't think any of us are surprised that Underworld Breach went ahead and got the axe. But that being said, I think we were all a little bit surprised, yet not surprised that nothing else came off the ban list, since there's a lot of things that, let's be real, should be let off the ban list because they're just really not good enough in current Modern. However, we now have a situation where there is a power vacuum at the top of Modern. And we have a new set in Tarkir Dragonstorm coming out, which things like Ugin, the new Ugin specifically, this guy, yeah, he's probably going to be really good, and it's just a matter of what shell you put him in. I would not be surprised if artifact decks, the obvious home, Tron, in some form or another, ramp-style Eldrazi decks as well, try him out. I don't think that Ugin ultimately, though, is going to be as big of a hit in terms of power level as, let's say, Ketramos, the New Dawn. Ketramos being just an insane card advantage engine and already slotted into one of the best decks in Modern. Ugin specifically doesn't immediately slip into these Eldrazi ramp decks necessarily. Now, I personally view Ugin as being incredible. You know, repeated exile, it starts at 7, it gets to 11 very quickly, makes mana so you can exile something immediately. It's not as good in any Eldrazi mirrors, but the card's kind of nuts. That being said, it's going to see play in all the formats that it's legal in, except for Legacy and Vintage, probably. Like, the card's crazy. But the real question is, thanks to this power vacuum, what decks are going to ultimately take over the format? And there's a lot of new cards that have printed in Dragonstorm that we might see play, but I kind of generally think that you'll see these decks mostly be the powerhouses of the format. Before Mox Opal was unbanned, Belcher was still one of the best decks in the format. We will see a return of Boros Energy and Energy variants be very powerful. We're also going to see Amulet Titan continue to be strong because it is kind of returning to being the best combo deck in the format outside of Belcher. That being said, you're going to see a lot of people still try to play their Mox Opals because, well, Mox Opal is a $200+ card, and people want to play in the deck styles that they invest in. Jeskai Ascendancy, which we've seen a little bit start to pop up. You could see Kethis combo make a return, and people are still going to play Affinity. They're still going to try things like Thopter Sword combo. I wouldn't be surprised if people are going to lean in more heavily to Urza. But there's a lot of questions in this format moving forward, and one of those answers may in fact also be Dimir Midrange, because it is a deck that tends to really just adjust to formats. I think another question is, will Blue-White Control still be a viable deck in the format? Will Domain Zoo still be as strong as it is into these Ketramos matchups? And will we see Burn and Blitz be two viable format breakers, especially early in this RCQ season? Rakdos has a lot of options in terms of being a Blitz deck, considering Nethergoyf is a very good card. And right now, Burn is just very good into a Ketramos heavy lineup, and there's not a ton of life gain in the format currently outside of Boros Energy. It should also be mentioned, Hollow One is still one of the more powerful decks in the format in terms of quickly killing their opponents, so definitely look out for them as well. So here's what I would do. Pack your Consign to Memories, because the format is definitely going to have a ton of Eldrazi in it and a ton of colorless cards thanks to the new Ugin. Prep your board wipes, because Boros Energy is still going to be one of the best decks in the format, and really let your sideboard be as malleable as possible, especially in the first couple of weeks in this RCQ season, because you're still going to see plenty of combo, and you want answers that deal with multiple combo options.